Hey everybody, this is a little a late night two-leg live chat, and we're talking about the Paul McCartney Got Back tour, and Andy just got back from seeing seeing Paul. This was the last show of this leg of the tour. He's got the Glastonbury, and who knows where Paul is going next with live shows. But anyways, Andy, you look like you just went in the Thunderdome, and let me hang
Oh,
on, I gotta put
yeah,
that
give
mute
us.
on that.
Yeah,
But today it started kind of. I was texting with you earlier, and you were like, "Yeah, it's raining." And how was the weather earlier today?
it was when I walked out my door at 6:45 in the morning. It was hailing buckets of rain, and I'm like, boy, that's a real kind of crap way to think about how tonight's gonna go. And it was like I was texting you back, and you're like, well, that'll suck. I'm like, yeah, I
Right.
know, but it slowed down and it tapered off. It never got really nice out. And then my friend group that I that had gone with, we were checking and we're like, rain's gonna hold off probably till about 10ish. And the show did get some rain, and I'll get to that. But
Okay.
you
Okay.
um, yeah, no, the weather was kind of like it was kind of just iffy. It was cloudy, and then we got to the stadium. It was windy as all hell, but just overcast.
Okay. All right. Well, this was a big show. This was MetLife, right? This was, you said earlier, this is about 60,000 people were the in stadium, and some of those people we know, people like Ken Michaels, Joe Mayo, Darren DeVivo,
Ethan,
our buddy Ethan Alexanian, Susan Ryan, who a lot of people know from the fest. Real quick, how you doing, everybody? Thanks for joining
hi,
us.
hi
Um,
everybody, Joe, Tony,
eh,
Paulina.
yeah. So a lot of people were there,
There was a
and
lot of people there, and
right,
everybody was. Joe Mayo was there, and then you're messaging everybody, and like you want to try to meet up with everybody, but it's such a massive place, and if you're
right,
traveling with people, even if you wanted to meet up with somebody in a section that might have been above you or near, it would have taken forever to get
yeah,
through
right,
that place. Now I've been to MetLife a good number of times. I am a longtime suffering New York Giants fan, and that's where they
right.
play. And I must say that stadium is so poorly designed. Mike, he was there too. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, right.
Mike was there
Great, another
too.
person there. Great. Yeah, I
Um,
saw that you were there, Mike. Cool.
great, and Mike had great pictures too. He had
Right.
an awesome
Yeah.
post.
And Susan's here too. Cool. Thanks,
Hi
Susan.
Susan. So
But you. Okay, go aheed.
I
Go
was
ahead.
just gonna say it was just you try to meet up with. I wanted to try to meet up with Ethan
Right.
and Ken Michaels and stuff, and it was just impossible to try to get to everybody around, just because of the sheer massive amount of people that were at the
Right.
show. You know,
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, good point. I mean, it's such a, you don't really understand the hugeness of it until you like you take it all in. You do a 360, and it's massive. Like you said, I mean, going up one flight of stairs could take 20 minutes. I mean, going up one flight, above you could take 20, 30 minutes. Anyways, Kid O'Toole, the Queen, hello. Um, but you went with a group of people,
yeah,
a bunch of friends, and how were your seats?
our seats were good. We were in section 121, which was in the,
Mm.
if you know football, it's like the end zone. So it was the
Okay.
opposite end of the stage. So
Okay.
it was lower level. The tickets were decently priced. They weren't like astronomical, like thousands of dollars, but they were
Right.
a little more expensive than the upper ones, but not too terrible. We were in row 19 of section 121. Had a bird's eye view of the whole stage. It did
Yeah.
have the obstructed speaker thing in front of us. So, but they did
Okay.
say it would have that. But he's so
Right.
far away at that point that you're watching the
Right.
video screen 9 times out of 10 anyway.
Right. Because Darren DeVivo actually posted a picture on his Facebook page with those those gray covered speakers or
Yes.
whatever. It's hilarious. I've probably been so pissed, but and yeah, and Joseph was there too. So I hope you had a great time
Yeah,
too,
Joe.
Joseph. But okay, so did you go to the merch line first or anything
Well,
like that?
here's the thing with that. So it's like, it was a zoo. It was a zoo of people. MetLife
Right.
Stadium. There's like a couple of ways in, not a lot of ways out. It's New Jersey infrastructure. It's absolutely horrible
Right.
to try to navigate that. So you get in, and we hung out. We hung out in the parking lot for about an hour, and
So
then
what
around
time did you get there first? Hold on. What time did you guys get there?
we got there around 6. I guess we pulled into the lot about 10 after 6.
Okay, so you didn't get
Oh
time to hear a set list or see Paul
no,
drive by or anything
no,
like
I
that.
know
Okay.
Joe Mayo was there early, like at 4:30, like hanging out, and I don't have that
Right.
kind of time to be sitting in a parking lot for 7
Right.
hours before a concert. I mean, it's great that people can do that. I just it
Right.
was cool when I saw Joe posted the picture of him coming in, and
Right.
which was cool. So we
All
got
right.
there
So,
about
but
six
the
o'clock.
merch.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
merch. So walking in, so I think I saw, and I was only on the 100 level. There was only two merch tables around the whole circumference of the 100 level. And when we went up to the 100 level, it at like 7. I wanted to try to get the stuff as soon as I went in. As soon as you go
Yeah.
in, you get the stuff, you get to your seat, and you go. Now, of course, here in the lovely state of New Jersey, you don't get bags anymore. Yay for us. You don't get bags anymore. So you got to take your crap and you have to hold
Yeah.
on to it and hope that it doesn't get destroyed in the seats and beer gets spilled over it and the rest of the stuff. So, but the merch table, as you experienced at SoFi, was a zoo.
Hmm.
At
Yeah.
7:30, I couldn't even. It was like 8 deep, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with this. Let's just go. Let's navigate to where our seats are. Let's see what we're looking at. So we did
Right.
that, and then we socialized a little bit, and then walking around, and then it was like around 8 o'clock because we were looking on set list like he doesn't really come on until about 8:30. So we're like, we have
Right.
time. So
Right.
hit the bathroom one last time, go around, go, and then like around 8:10, I'm like, let me go back to the merch. Let me go back. Let me go back. And by then it had thinned out. I'm like, and
Okay.
it didn't have to wait that long. So
Cool.
I got two things. I got the shirt I'm wearing, which
Hmm.
I was gonna get the one you got, but I really like the design of this one. It's different. It's like
Yeah.
cartoonish. So I
And we
got
got to
this
talk
one.
about that. We got to talk about that either tonight or soon because the way, it's like he's walking a plank. And if it's almost like an end of the road type thing, and see, we got to talk about that another time. But what else did
Yes.
you get?
So I took two things. I mean, these the merch is ridiculous. I got two
Right.
things: the shirt and the book.
Hey, you got the tour book. All right.
I got the tour book. So that
Yeah.
was it for me. A shirt and a book because anything else, and I would have had to take out a second mortgage. So yeah.
Yeah.
But that was it for me. So the book
Right.
looks great. I thumbed through it very briefly.
Right.
But that was it. So I got the merch. No, yeah, Tony, in New Jersey, we don't get bags anymore. So in any store or anything. So um,
But what were you in line? Were the remixes going on at the same
the
time or anything like
remixes
that?
were going. The remix was
Yeah.
we could hear the remixes pounding throughout the stadium, which was awesome. And then we need those released somehow. Those pre-show mixes that get everybody excited and the build up. I mean, it's really a production through and through. The build up, the anticipation. Now I didn't see any coasters, Kit. I did not see any coasters. Um,
Ah.
did not see any.
Okay.
Uh, so
Okay.
the build up is there, and the place is filing in, and it's starting to get dark. It's 8:15, 8:20. Now everybody's in their seats and got the merch, and we're
Right.
ready to go. And then they see you see the guitar come
Right.
up, and that's it. You
Right.
know,
That's
you
it.
know.
Yeah, lights go down, and so when the show starts, it's going into its normal set list. I mean, first of all, were you hoping anybody would pop up on stage with Paul? Were you anticipating it?
I was thinking that it was the last date of the tour. It's around his birthday. Something special's got to happen here today.
Right.
Something special has to happen here today. My money was on Ringo because Ringo's tour got postponed. So
Right.
I'm thinking, well, if he's in the area, why not a perfect venue for Ringo to come and join him? But as we all know now, I was wrong. Um, so yeah, but I there was a feeling in the air amongst the crowd and the chatter that
Right.
somebody was coming today.
Well, and that's funny because before the show started, people were posting pictures, obviously, on Facebook, and somebody did post a picture and a video of John Bon Jovi walking towards his seat. So you
Yeah,
knew he was there, but I wasn't really expecting him to, come on stage or anything like that. So I mean, what were your first impressions as the show starting?
it was great. I haven't seen Paul in 5 years, so it
Right.
was just great to see him again. And he's the consummate showman. I mean, every time I've seen
Right.
Paul, it's the best time that I've seen. It's the best show that I've seen of Paul
Right.
because it's flawless. Now, but I'm not gonna lie, there were points in the show where I was like kind of bored,
Right.
and as you were too. Just
Yeah.
with the great "Can't Buy Me Love," Junior's Farm, Letting Go, Got to Get You Into My Life, Come On to Me. The first five out of the gate, home run. Great.
Right.
The jacket's
Right.
still on, and then we go into "Let Me Roll It," Foxy Lady, and I'm like, yeah, no. And then like a 5 minute story about Jimi Hendrix. No. So
Yeah, I know that was incredible. I mean, it felt like that story went on for an hour. The
yes.
Jimi Hendrix story. We don't need it, anyways.
No, but he made it. He makes the story longer now, and it's like
Right.
don't need it, man. So
No, no. But how was it sounding now? I mean, what were your
oh,
thoughts on the
sound
mix?
the the mix was great. Bass was obviously very prominent in the mix. A
Right.
couple of my friends that I sat with noticed that they're like, "Man, the bass is
Right.
really up in
Right.
a lot of the songs." So yeah, obviously it was. But the first five out of the gate, awesome. "Can't Buy Me Love," Junior's Farm, Letting Go, and Got to Get You Into
Right.
My Life, and come on, and then in fifth song we go right to a song from Egypt Station, which
Right.
was there's and then just about the set list. There's parts of the set list that are really plotted very well with some new
Mm-hmm.
recent stuff
Right. Right.
scattered throughout it. And now with the late addition of a oldie thrown in there late, it's sprinkled in very well. It just needs a little bit of tweaking, in my opinion. But
Mm.
it's
Okay.
it's really good. I mean, um, so getting better was awesome. Let him in. I hadn't seen live before. That was a treat. My
Yeah, I
Valentine.
mean, so
My
yeah, I mean,
yeah
because he took out Women and Wives completely a few weeks back. So just completely just forgot it, which is a shame. But Let Him In, I'll see Let Him In all day long.
yeah
So glad we got that. But My Valentine, obviously, there was pictures of Nancy there, so he probably said, "Well, Nancy's here, right?" And here you go.
yeah. And I was like instant. I'm sitting down song. I'm sitting down
Hmm.
and I'm gonna just chill.
Right.
Um,
And were you guys standing right off the bat?
we were standing off the bat, and everybody was standing until My Valentine, and then
Mm,
everybody sat, and
right.
then everybody pretty much sat for a good while. Then through the next couple of songs, 1985, maybe I'm amazed.
Hmm.
And then we go
Okay.
into
All right. So maybe I'm amazed. I mean, how was that beginning? Maybe I'm amazed. Was it a
the
rough one?
beginning was rough, but then he got better throughout it, which is kind of consistent with what people have
Right.
said. It's he's a little warbly there at the beginning. When he opens it up with the "Baby I'm Amazed," like the croakiness, but then he gets strong, and he does it good, and he does it justice. For
Mm,
again,
yeah.
given the man's age, yeah, he's doing a pretty damn good job given
Right.
given everything that he's his age and everything. Little shaky at the beginning, but hey, bravo for him for still keeping it in there.
Right.
I'm glad it's in there. I would have hated that if it's
Right.
not. I'm glad that it's in.
Right. So then you got I've just seen a face, whereas I got We Can Work It Out. So did they do that opening guitar acoustic car doom 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 doom?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And what I liked about that is that to me that sounded more of like the Wings Over America arrangement. To
Mm,
me, it had more of
okay.
it had more of that kind of like that acoustic part of the show. It had that kind of a
Mhm.
feel to it where they're all playing on it. So yeah, we got those. That
Right.
was the swap song. So your song was "We Can Work It Out." And again,
Right,
there's
right.
certain parts of the set list he just checks some songs out. So yeah, now we're into the acoustic part of the show.
Right.
I really enjoyed "In Spite of All the Danger." I know people are tired
Okay.
of that, but
Right.
I enjoyed it. I don't think it needs that reprise where they end it and then they come back and sing it again. That I don't think is
Mhm.
needed. That's kind of dull. But and the story is old and tired. But
Right.
the performance of it is really good. It was one of the ones I enjoyed all night.
Mm. Okay. Then we go into Love Me Do. Then you got Dance Tonight, which I'm sure Abe was doing all of his,
Yes. Yeah.
craziness behind Paul.
Yeah. Dance Night. And then we kind of come to the point of the show that I think is the weakest for me, and that's
Mm,
Blackbird and Here Today.
right. And
Let's
now he was up lifted on a riser, right, for that performance.
It's the weakest part of the show for me is that are those two songs, because
Okay.
nothing's changed. I mean, the elevation thing is great, but it's over a decade old at this point, and I was
Right.
starting to, if I'm being brutally honest, I was starting to tune it out a little bit at that point.
Okay. And how did he sound for those two tracks?
Great, sounded great. He sounded great, but I was not really feeling those songs at that moment in time. And then we finished it, and then he goes right into new, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm back in it.
Cool. And then it's funny because he doesn't do the acapella bit at the end of New for
No,
some reason, which is a little disappointing, but that's fine. Whatever. Lady Madonna, another instant classic that he does live all the time. I think I mean, if he continues to tour, that'll probably stay in the set list until the day he dies.
yes,
Um, and then you got For You, which I know isn't really necessarily one of your favorites, but
it's not.
how are the crowd reacting towards these newer songs? That do you recall? Did you?
They were bopping. They were bopping
Yeah.
to the new songs. The people that were in my section behind us, a couple crew of girls behind us, they were they were singing the lyrics to the songs. They were digging
Okay.
it. So they
Cool.
knew they knew the Beatles stuff better, obviously.
Hmm.
But they weren't like, oh, here's a new McCartney song I don't know. I'm just going to scroll on my phone and not pay attention. That was not the
Right.
case. The crowd was into it. They were into his newer music, and I know how we call it new music. New is a song that's almost a decade old.
Anyways, then the part that I'm completely totally jealous
Yeah,
of the addition of Jet to the set list. Talk about that.
boy, I lucked out with this. You didn't get so lucky.
Yeah.
Thank God he put Jet back in. Jet is one of those songs that was made to be played in a rock
Played.
arena stadium.
Yes. Agreed.
But
Agreed.
again, if it was always in the set list, like Let Me Roll It, we'd probably be saying we're sick of Jet, but we're not sick of Jet. But
Right.
it needs to be in the rotation. And but I like where he has it slotted in here a little later in the set. When he has played
Hmm.
Jet over the last decade, it's always kind of in the beginning of the show. I like where it
Right.
comes right after For You, which by the way, I don't love For You, but I enjoyed it. It was good. But Jet, God, that I think I went live on my page for a little bit there because I'm like,
Yeah, you
okay,
did.
this is Jet.
Now, now when Full U's over with, did they go right into Jet, or was it like end Full U and then kind of into it? Did it feel like a medley at all, or was it like
No, it was a clear
okay,
stop.
okay, it was a clear stop. Okay,
It was a clear stop. Serge makes a great point here, just overall with the whole show,
yeah,
is that adding
yeah,
songs with the horns. Yes.
yeah. Mm-hmm. And congratulations to the Golden State Warriors for winning another
Oh, did
championship.
they won? Okay.
Yes, yes.
But
I
yeah,
hope you were. But anyways, so yeah, totally jealous about you guys getting Jet. That's awesome. Then back into a
yeah,
wide or many Beatles songs next.
yeah. A lot of them, many big, and then again, this part of me kind of was like, again, Mr. Kite's been in
Mhm.
there for a while, something and Obla D. I kind of was like, like it was okay. They were all performed great, and something never disappoints, especially
Right,
when now that he does that concert for Georgia rendition where he starts with the uke and then he goes into a full band
right,
treatment of the song.
right.
Tremendous, tremendous.
Hmm.
It's just from my ears, it's just a little tired. However, and Obla D, same thing. Fun little song, crowd pleasing. However, when we get to You Never Give Me Your Money in Bathroom Window, that was awesome because that was
Yeah,
new. That was new.
but it's still really weird when you hear you never give me your money started with the out of college money spent.
Yes.
You know,
That
so
kind of took me by surprise. I'm like, wait, we're just starting the song with that? Like
right,
cold,
right,
cold. You're
right.
starting it
Cold,
like
exactly.
out of college. I'm like,
Yeah.
usually because he's done weird things with that. He's played "You've Never Given Me Your Money" before by
Right.
himself on a piano. He did it on the live album in 2002,
Right.
and I saw him on that tour do it that way. And now this time he's just picking it up without a cut and then right into it. Different, but
Right.
I appreciated it because it was a new arrangement. It was a new song.
Right. Right. And then he goes right into "She Came In Through the Bathroom Window," which for me was a major highlight.
Major.
Major highlight. But it was medley style. It wasn't a clear stop and then going into um, "She Came In the Bathroom Window," right? I mean, for you, it was one constant
Yep.
thing. Okay.
One
Cool.
constant, one kind. And that was
Yeah.
a definite highlight of the show
Right.
of how those two songs work together.
Right.
Absolutely. Um,
Now Get Back starts. Now were they showing bits from the documentary,
yep.
the Get Back during the Get Back song?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. You had the footage. You had all the cleaned up, restored footage from Peter Jackson up when that song was, and he talked about it a little bit, like he does, Peter Jackson, blah
Hmm.
blah blah, and then he goes right into it,
All right.
and the place got up. The place was pretty amped when that song
Oh, I
came on.
bet. I
You
bet.
know.
I bet. And then he goes into the fourth song from the Band on the Run album, the title track.
Yep.
Um,
And
for me, he was a little rough with the, "In the Rain Exploded" bit, the last bit of it. I mean, how was he? How was
that was
vocally?
fine tonight. That was band on the run was fine tonight. I thought.
Okay.
And of course, all the phones came out, and he makes his joke, black hole and flash of light
Right.
and
Yeah.
all that other. But it's the
Okay.
truth.
So
Yeah.
right. So after that, what's going on? I mean,
So
did he
so
tell us
after
about the big surprise then?
so after that, that's when it ends, and he starts talking about Jersey, and we got a local guy, and we're like, well, who's this going to be? There's a guy, and then boom, like within 10 seconds, Bruce Spring Bruce comes walking out.
Right.
It wasn't
Place
long.
goes crazy.
The place goes crazy. It wasn't some kind of big build up. Song ended. He goes, we're New Jersey. There's a local guy here. Blah blah blah. Boom, and he came right out. And he came right out. And I haven't seen Bruce in concert in years, and he looks pretty damn good. He looks like he's in
Yeah.
shape.
Yeah. Yeah. The image I saw. Yeah, he looks fine. He sounded fine.
And
And
that I just didn't know
and
I didn't know if they were going to do a Beatles song first or what.
right. I mean, we'll talk about. I mean, going in the glory days. Who would have predicted that? No one would have predicted that whatsoever. Going into a song that I don't even know if they had a chance to rehearse it. You know.
I Who knows? But they came right, and it was cool, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I've seen Bruce Springsteen, probably a dozen times, and to see him with Paul McCartney at Paul's show doing Glory Days, and it was just I'm watching Paul do the Glory Days part, and it's just it's
Right.
weird watching a Beatles sing a Bruce Springsteen
I
song.
know.
It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right. You know, like this British guy singing like this American guy's like Americana song, but it was cool. It was absolute. The place went crazy,
Right. Yeah,
absolutely
that's
crazy.
it had to have gone crazy. I mean, from the minute he was on stage to the minute he got off. Beetle Mad Mike 9, he said he got to meet me, Mr. Mayo. That's awesome.
There you go.
Glad to hear that. Very glad to hear that. And Serge said Paul's bass sounded great on Glory Days. You
His
agree?
bass was great. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think it actually got a little bit stronger throughout the night. It picked up in the mix. I could hear.
Gotcha. All right, cool. So then they go into "I Want to Be Your Man," which probably people were hoping Ringo would have joined for
Right.
that song.
Which I think is pretty interesting because the Stones just played "I Want to Be Your Man" in Liverpool last
Right.
week,
Right.
and now
Right.
here's Bruce and Paul doing it here in New Jersey, which I
Right.
thought was a nice touch.
Yeah. So were the Hot City Horns playing during Glory Days?
I honestly can't remember. I don't think they were,
Right.
but they might have been. I don't think they
Okay.
were. Um,
Interesting.
Kid calls it the yeah.
A happy drink song.
Yeah.
Funny. So they do "I Want to Be Your Man," and then he takes off, I guess, and then Paul goes into the piano
Yep.
set, and
He almost
Again, I mean,
fell. He slipped again tonight up those
really?
stairs. Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
boy.
He slipped
Okay.
once or twice too. Yeah.
No
Not
kidding.
not that he fell, but he slipped on those stairs going up to the piano.
Hmm. Interesting. Now, I mean, was it raining at all at any
So, all
point
right, so
during?
yeah, now you bring up the rain. So the rain around this time, I don't know if it was this song or not. Somebody who's at the show can say it started to rain around 10-ish, and it was coming down. I'm like, oh great, here we go. Grab my raincoat. And the rain
Right.
started to come down for a good 15 or so minutes. No, I think it was later. But actually it was during Live and Let Die. It was raining, actually. Yeah, it was
Okay.
raining during Live and Let Die. But it did rain and it picked up, but then it died down again, which was nice.
Okay. Cool. So Let It Be, and then into Live and Let Die. I mean, how are the whole explosions, the
The explosions
fireworks?
from where I was sitting was fine. I didn't feel the heat too much because I was back. You know, I didn't. I mean,
Right.
I felt it, but I wasn't. I didn't get singed or anything. But it never disappoints. And I know he's
Hmm.
a showman and everything, but it does not disappoint. It's a great song. The pyrotechnics are awesome, and I know it's an act for him, but it's always one of the highlights of the show. And I mean, you were up
Yeah.
close. You were right
Oh
up on
yeah.
top of it. So
Yeah. Right. Then obviously, Hey Jude, and then that's the end of the main set.
yes.
So they go off. I mean, everybody's going crazy. Oh, speaking of, during Let It Be, did everybody have their flashlights on their phone? Did you notice that?
Mostly, yeah. Yep, yeah,
Yeah.
that was another phone song for sure. Oh
Okay.
yeah, they that's
Okay.
right, kid. You said horngasm, right? So they on my video. So yes, they did have the horns for 4 days. Yes. See, I was just so
Right.
lost in the moment and locked in on Bruce and Paul that I wasn't even looking at
Right.
those guys. And those guys were damn good too, by the way. And he gave them a shout out, which was nice.
Oh, absolutely. Um, Before we get into the encore, I mean, did you notice people in the crowd and their reactions, to the show, or you were pretty much just focused on the on Paul and the band?
I was pretty mostly focused on Paul and the band, but I was pretty observant within my kind of corner of the people that were in front of me, and they were people that were elderly, and they were just enjoying and sitting. And then
Right.
they were again, and that's the one thing I can say about a Paul McCartney show is that there was people of all ages there, young
Right.
kids, old, elderly people, and that's what's beautiful to see.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it's it's definitely all age show for sure when you go see McCartney. He comes back out, they're waving all the flags, I'm sure.
Yep.
And and he talks about, he tells a story, right? Peter Jackson,
Peter Jackson,
sent
yep. Send me
sent
the
me
thing.
the
I can do this. Do you want me to? Do you fancy if I do this? Yeah, yeah, okay.
yeah, yeah.
And just want to see it. Let me just see. And seeing the videos on YouTube is one thing, but seeing it live is pretty cool. And he was like,
Hmm.
"Hey, it's virtual, but hey, it's cool."
Yeah, seeing John's face on those big screens,
Yeah,
very impactful.
yeah. And then he's turning around, like looking at him and playing with him. That's pretty cool for what it
Hmm.
is. So
Right.
that was awesome.
All
And
right. So
go ahead.
then And
Oh,
then after I've got a feeling the other Jersey boy, I guess, comes
yes,
up and talk
yes.
about that.
So yeah, so he goes, so he goes, oh, there are birthdays today, and then Bon Jovi comes out with these balloons, and then
Hmm.
he's like, well, there's somebody having a birthday today, or this, and he's celebrating a
Right.
birthday. Let's all sing to him. So then Bon
Hmm.
Jovi gets the whole place to serenade Paul to
Right.
happy birthday, and then
Right.
releases these balloons to the sky, and
Right. And
then
see,
and
that's go ahead.
I was just gonna say when we all expected at that point for him to start, okay, he was gonna sing a song. Okay, because
Hmm.
Bruce had his song. What song is Bon Jovi gonna sing? Are him and Paul gonna starting singing Living on a Prayer? God, I don't know if I want to hear that. I don't know if I want to hear that.
Oh, that's funny because I was kind of curious if at any point in time people were gonna just like automatically start singing "Happy Birthday" to him. You know what I mean?
Well, it's
Because
funny. A lot of people, the diehards in the first like 30 rows that always have the signs, all
right.
had signs. It's little placards that said "Happy Birthday." So when they
Okay.
did this, they shot the video screen shot to the people all
Right.
holding up "Happy Birthday" signs, and I think he was really moved by that.
Cool. Jay here says voice sounded great, so I
Yeah,
guess Jay was there as well. So cool.
I agree.
All right. Yeah, he just says, yeah, show was amazing. 80 years old. Absolutely. Um, Birthday. Helter Skelter. Um, the wind down of the show, the Golden Slumbers carry that way at the end. I talked about having that moment there when Golden Slumbers, he's starting to sing that song, and then you're coming to the realization that this could be it. This could be the last time you see Paul. I mean, did you have that feeling at all, or were you just still in the moment,
I
enjoying
I
yourself?
was enjoying my show. I was enjoying myself, and I felt that way before the show. God, this could really be it. But then going
Right,
throughout the 3 hours, of which he had one sip of water, everybody,
right, yeah,
he did take one sip. I don't normally when I've seen him do Golden Slumbers, the medley, it's a very kind of that's a big moment in the show because it's emotional, and it was tonight. But to me, I didn't get the feeling that this was it. Like I firmly believe he's coming back. So
okay,
I didn't feel as sentimental about Golden Slumbers tonight as I have in the past
mm-hmm,
because I don't show he doesn't show any signs of slowing down.
hmm,
He sounded great. He played for 3 straight hours,
right,
and okay, with some varying degrees. I go well, little spots where maybe his voice went a little off. Maybe I'm amazed and stuff, but he was great. He sang fine. So
hmm,
I don't, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. So, I mean, 39 songs, 39 freaking songs, and we some
yeah,
with the two extras with
right,
Bruce,
yeah. So, all in all, you've seen Paul how many times now?
a dozen.
A dozen. I mean, where do you know, put
I think
this?
I'll put this probably right up around two or three.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
probably way up there with two or three because of the variedness in the set list. I think it's as good as the Yankee Stadium show I saw in 2011. It's up there for
Hmm.
that. The City Field show, this show, MetLife in 2016. They were all good shows. That's what we were saying when we
Hmm.
were leaving tonight. The show, you don't leave a Paul McCartney show and go, he wasn't that good tonight. He's always good.
Yeah, right. And
He's
we'll
all
get to that. We'll get to that part here in a second. But our friend Susan said at the Fenway, the whole crowd so spontaneously sang "Happy Birthday" to Paul, and his band joined in. So that's pretty cool. And see, that was the kind of thing I was expecting that was going to happen. See, I didn't think just like somebody was just going to come up there and lead the crowd in like a Happy Birthday
which is what kind of
thing.
what Bon Jovi ended up doing.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So you experienced the same thing I did leaving SoFi, where you guys just so you guys were in the car for a good hour, right?
Oh yeah, yep, a good
Yeah,
hour. Just show ends at 11:30, and I don't
right.
think we got out of the parking lot until what time is it now? It's 2:24. We were
Yeah.
we didn't get out of the parking lot until 12 like 40.
Wow.
So
All
over an
right.
hour.
Yeah.
Oh, over an hour
Yeah.
just to get out.
Mhm. Yeah, Jason. He did sing with John. They did that do the "I've Got a Feeling" uh, bit.
But
So go
yeah,
ahead.
but I'll just say once you get out with the way how MetLife is, once you get out of the parking lot, it goes.
Mm-hmm.
It just moves. So yeah, that's just you had the same experience and I did too. And then and then when I was home within a half hour.
So next year, let's say he announces another tour, he comes by you. You're obviously going again, right?
Going. I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm
There
there.
you go. There you go.
Absolutely. So yeah, well worth the wait. I hadn't seen Paul in 5 years. The last time I saw Paul was at Prudential in Newark
Hmm.
in 2017. So it's been quite a while. It's been a long run. And I'm so glad I went to see him. This book looks great. Is it $50 worth great? I don't know. We'll see. But I'm glad I went. I'm glad I got this shirt, which I was gonna get the black one. But I said, let me get this green one. It's different, you know.
Oh no, it's cool. It's cool. It is. It's unique. And again, we're gonna have a chat about that plank thing that he's walking on sometime soon. But glad you went. Glad you had a great time. You had a great fan or friend base with you that
Oh,
went. You went with your friend Bob, right? That we went with Steve Hackett. went
Yep.
to with Steve Hackett with. You also had your other buddy that was on our show for that up close show, right?
Yeah, both of those guys were at the show with
Both
me.
of them were there. Yeah.
Steve, and Vinny that were on the. They both saw McCartney at the Up Close concert in 1992, and they went in
Uh-huh.
for free too. And so I have a really good crew of McCartney fans and
Mhm.
Beatle fans, and we're always all in, and they're two leg supporters. So we had a blast, and some of them they waited though. We got in the car and left, and we just sat in the car. We just sat in the car, drove home, and listened to McCartney and Wings music.
Right. Excellent. All right. Well, I know you got to work in the morning, so thank you for popping on and doing this, talking about your experience. Thank you everybody for joining us here late night. I know it's it's almost 2:30 there in
Yeah,
your neck of the woods. It's still still yesterday
it's
where you
still
are.
yesterday. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So and it's today where it's tomorrow where you are for me still. So again, thank you everybody for popping in. Andy, again, thank you for sharing your experience with us, and we're gonna see you guys real soon. Obviously, this weekend it's Record Store Day. Hopefully, y'all get that Women and Wives 12-inch single, and we'll be talking about that. The 80th birthday is this Saturday, and we have a doozy for you. We recorded our epic ranking the albums, and yeah, it's like 3 hours long,
It's a
and
whopper.
it's a whopper, all right. We ranked 26 albums in his canon, and we had a great time doing it. Had a great time with you, Andy, just talking about these albums and where we ranked them and everything like that. And
It was a fun show.
yeah, and we're gonna have to let Andy get out of here before he passes out. We got to get him at least to get 3-4 hours
Yep.
sleep
But
before.
thank you,
Yeah,
Susan, and thank you,
yeah,
Kit.
yeah. Thank you everybody for joining us, and guys, we'll see you real soon. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit that like button, and we'll see you soon. Take care.